Hey guys, we got another drawing, and in most cases, I would just make another, YouTube short where I'm like, "Hey, I drew this," but for this one, I wanted to actually have a video, primarily because I wrote a little three-page story prior to making the image, and then made the image after the fact, and yeah, so I just thought about reading it instead of just having a usual 30-second chopped explanation. But anyway, for context, Jason is the masked hero in the image, and he has a paintbrush which has the ability to conjure up whatever he knows. So he can make an apple, he can make matches, etc. So anyway, time to start reading this. December 2. The day started out with nothing out of the ordinary. I had been saving people throughout the day, primarily by stopping a guy speeding through the streets at highway speeds, helping a kid walk home, he lost his glasses and couldn't read the name of the street, and helping an old woman move a couch into her apartment. By evening, the sun had started to dip, and the day's work was getting to me. Not that I was hungry, but I had the strong urge to use the bathroom. Ah, nuts, I said. I looked around hastily, over to somewhere on the horizon. The trip to my house would take too long, and I really had to go. I didn't want to draw a bucket and pee in it. That'd be weird. And there were no open restaurants. How is that even possible? Regardless, I saw a big professional looking building with an open window and decided to jump into it. The hallway I landed into was white and smelled very clean. My face filled with dread when I realized where exactly I was: a hospital. I didn't want to take off my mask, even if it was just a square paper bag, because I was already afraid that a camera would catch my actual face. Besides, where would I hide my cape and paintbrush? I sighed and just zipped to the nearest bathroom. Nothing too bad happened, just one weird look from a stranger. I think I just gotta get used to using the urinals with a costume on. When it came to leaving, I walked towards the window when I heard him. Hey, hey, the voice shouted. I internally jumped before looking over. There was a hospital room with a singular bed and a few monitors with a kid in it, no older than 6, his head covered in bandages, next to a stuffed bear laden with a cheap balloon next to him. His bright green eyes stuck out in the sterile room. I peered into the doorway. Hi, I whispered. He looked at me with the biggest light in his eyes. I can't believe my parents were able to get you. Do you remember me? My pointer fingers touched a few times before I shook my head. I usually see a lot of people every day. Can you help me jog my memory? The kid giggled. You saved Sparky a few months ago from that truck. The memory flashed in my mind. Oh, I remember. How's that little pup doing? Did he like the toy I gave him? The kid nodded before pulling out a bouncy blue ball with the name Sparky on it and a crude drawing of my mask. I chuckled and sat in a nearby chair before examining the ball. The kid was starstruck. Can't believe I'm a celebrity. Why am I your favorite? Because you have the coolest powers. Maybe you can help me. I twirled my paintbrush before drawing 2 sticks of gum into reality. One for me and one for the kid. Now, what do you need? I can make as much gum as the nurses allow, and maybe a few bad puns, but I don't know. Can you draw a cure for my cancer? He yelled in glee. I. I coughed hard. The kid leaned over and patted my back. Don't worry, you got it. You can make anything with that paintbrush. You have all the powers in the world, but not the powers needed to save him. Come on, you got this, he encouraged, as if trying to get a fighter back onto his feet. I didn't want it. Please stop. Use it! After I sat up straight and twirled my paintbrush, I decided on something simple. All right, I'll try my best. With a flashy move, I drew a detailed bag. It resembled mine, with a papery texture and a box-like shape, and eye holes, but with cool stripes and zigzag patterns, a nice dog resembling Sparky on the back, and the words "Property of the Strongest Hero" on the top of the bag. I held it like it was gold, because that's what he thought it was. So, with this mask, you'll get my invincibility, I exclaimed. I held it under a match that I drew. The bag that I drew was durable and didn't catch fire, but my sweater did. The kid laughed as I cartoonishly put out the fire, his face red from joy. I think my sweater could use a bag, I muttered. He nodded. I then got in front of him and held his new mask. Now, promise me that you'll believe that you can be trusted with this power. You have to believe in its power for it to work. I do. I'll be stronger than you when I'm a big kid, the kid yelled in glee. You will be a big kid, I whispered. Mom and Dad are going to be so proud when they see your strength. I put the bag on his head slowly, and I had never seen a kid happier in his life. He tried testing out his new strength by punching me. I mockingly keeled over in pain before chuckling. You're going to need a lot more power than that if you're going to match me. Give me your strongest hug. The kid practically leaped onto me, trying to squeeze the air out of me with his strength. You're going to be okay, I whispered into his ear. Can I take a photo with you? I nodded before pulling out my phone. Even with the bag obscuring his face, I can still tell his excitement. After I took the photo, I looked at him. Wait here for a sec. I got an idea, I blurted. With immense speed, I hastily went over to the nearest library around 3 blocks away before uploading my photos. I then printed out 2 copies by accident before cutting out the images with scissors that I drew. I then re-entered through the window to see the kid. Here you go. I gave him the 2 photos. I got to go home to do some saving. Now go be a superhero and beat cancer. We hugged once again before I proceeded to leave. A tug on my arm stopped me. The kid, still with the bag on, took a blue pen from a nearby desk and doodled something on one of the images before giving it to me. I grabbed it, looked away, then pocketed it quickly. Thanks. Is there anything else you want? Thank you. Also, tell Santa I'm well behaved. I think you're strong enough to go to the North Pole. I smirked. Don't worry, I gotcha. What's your name? I asked softly. Michael Mendoza, he said confidently. All right, gotcha. See ya, Mikey, I exclaimed. I walked out of the room, scurried to the nearest open window before making my escape. I landed on the nearby rooftop before examining what he wrote, not trying to cry in the process. A month later, I would give that paper back to Michael. The tombstone read, Michael Mendoza, born March 4th, 2020, December 3rd, 2025, with a photo under it that read, me and my favorite hero. I want him to know that I was with my favorite hero. But yeah, simple story. Hope you guys liked it. I could use little tweaks, but I overall liked it. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe. Bye bye.